The chapter begins with a call to embrace those who are weak in faith, but not to engage in quarrels over differing opinions. It's like saying, welcome those who are unsure but don't start debates that lead to doubts. Verse 2 introduces a scenario. One person believes they can eat anything, while another, with a weaker faith, eats only vegetables. It's not about dietary restrictions, but rather a metaphor for the diversity of beliefs among believers. The third verse warns against despising or judging others based on these differences. Whether one eats or abstains, they do so as unto the Lord, for God accepts them all. It's a call for unity despite our differences. Verse 4 poses a question: who are you to judge someone else's servant? Each person stands or falls before their own master, and they will be upheld, for God has the power to make them stand. The fifth verse brings to light how some people consider one day more sacred than others, while some regard every day alike. What's important is that everyone is fully convinced in their own mind. The sixth verse reiterates this point. Those who observe the day do so in honor of the Lord. Those who eat in honor of the Lord, giving thanks to God, and those who abstain do so in honor of the Lord while giving thanks to God. Verse 7 and 8 remind us that no one lives or dies for themselves alone. We all live and die for the Lord, so whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. The ninth verse underscores why Christ died, rose, and returned to life, to be the Lord of both the living and the dead. The 10th verse questions why we judge our brothers or sisters, reminding us that we will all stand before God's judgment seat. Verse 11 confirms this with a quote, "As surely as I live, says the Lord, every knee will bow before me, every tongue will acknowledge God." And verse 12 concludes that each of us will give an account of ourselves to God. Verse 13 urges us not to judge one another anymore. Instead, we should avoid causing others to stumble or fall. Verse 14 to 23 delve deeper into this concept, emphasizing that nothing is unclean in itself. However, if someone regards something as unclean, then for them it is unclean. It is better not to eat meat or drink wine or do anything else that might cause your brother or sister to fall. The chapter closes with a reminder to keep your faith between yourself and God. Blessed is the one who does not condemn himself by what he approves. But whoever has doubts is condemned if they eat, because their eating is not from faith. And everything that does not come from faith is sin. In essence, Romans 14 teaches us to live in harmony with our fellow believers, respecting their faith and not passing judgment on their practices. Our lives are for the Lord, and we should strive to live in a way that honors Him without causing others to stumble. For more enriching content, do visit jehovahsaint.com.